Guys, I'm so sorry. I know I said I wasn't gonna do it in the car again, and technically I'm not in the same place as before. I know a lot of technicalities and stuff like that, but I accidentally forgot my tripod, which means that the only place I can do this without awkwardly holding my phone is in my car. So to make up for this, I'm now going to show you an extended tour of the area that I'm at today. So here's where we are. We are at the Ochiko viewpoint overlooking the small little town that I live in called Prineville, Oregon, and that is in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. So some fun facts about Prineville, Oregon is that it's actually the oldest town in Central Oregon and was founded in 1868, and it's the oldest incorporated city in Central Oregon. Another fun fact is that it's Oregon's first public library, opened in 1912, funded by Andrew Carnegie. Super fun. One last little fun fact, it also houses the largest data center in the world, actually. And not many people know about that. Well, honestly, probably because it really isn't super interesting of a fact, but it is a fun fact, you know? I mean, how many places can say that they have the largest data center in the world? Well, I guess only here, but you know what I mean. Everybody, I'm reading the Bible in a whole year, and if I'm doing it and you're watching this, that means that you are too. I'm reading specifically out of this version of the Bible. It's a year, the Bible in 1 year plan. So it's kind of broken up into sections. It'll be the New Living Translation. Today is January 14th. So we're gonna be reading through Genesis chapter 30 and through a little part of 31. Then we're going to read through Matthew chapter 10, a good chunk of that. And then we're going to read Psalms 12, 1 through 8, and then Proverbs 3, 13 through 15. So because it's a little bit longer, I'm going to take us right in and get us started. When Rachel saw that she wasn't having any children for Jacob, she became jealous of her sister. She pleaded with Jacob, "Give me children or I'll die." Then Jacob became furious with Rachel. "Am I God?" he asked. "He's the one who's kept you from having children." Then Rachel told him, "Take my maid, Bilhah, and sleep with her. She will bear children for me, and through her I can have a family too." So Rachel gave her servant Bilhah to Jacob as a wife, and he slept with her. Bilhah became pregnant and presented him with a son. Rachel named him Dan, for she said, "God has vindicated me. He has heard my request and given me a son." Then Bilhah became pregnant again and gave Jacob a second son. Rachel named him Naphtali, and she said, "I have struggled hard with my sister, and I am winning." Meanwhile, Leah realized that she wasn't getting pregnant anymore, so she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Soon Zilpah presented him with a son. Leah named him Gad, for she said, "How fortunate I am." Then Zilpah gave Jacob a second son, and Leah named him Asher. And she said, "What joy is mine! Now the other women will celebrate with me." One day, during the wheat harvest, Reuben found some mandrakes growing in a field and brought them to his mother, Leah. Rachel begged Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." But Leah angrily replied, "Wasn't it enough that you stole my husband? Now will you steal my son's mandrakes too?" Man, the sibling rivalry is ridiculous. So that evening, as Jacob was coming home from the fields, Leah went out to meet him. You must come and sleep with me tonight," she said. "I have paid for you with some mandrakes that my son found." So that night he slept with Leah, and God answered Leah's prayer. She became pregnant again and gave birth to a fifth son for Jacob. She named him Issachar, for she said, "God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband as a wife." Then Leah became pregnant again and gave birth to a sixth son for Jacob. She named him Zebulun. And she said, "God has given me a good reward. Now my husband will treat me with respect, and I have given him 6 sons." Later she gave birth to a daughter named Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel's plight and answered her prayers by enabling her to have children. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son. God has removed my disgrace, she said, and she named him Joseph. for she said, "May the Lord add yet another son to my family." Soon after Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Please release me so I can go to my own country. Let me take my wives and children, for I have earned them by serving you, and let me be on my way. You certainly know how hard I have worked for you." "Please listen to me," Laban replied. "I have become wealthy, for the Lord has blessed me because of you. Tell me how much I owe. Whatever it is, I will pay it." Jacob replied, "You know how hard I have worked for you, and how your flocks and herds have grown under my care. You had little indeed before I came, but your wealth has increased enormously. The Lord has blessed you through everything I've done. But now, what about me? When can I start providing for my own family?" "What wages do you want?" Laban asked him. Jacob replied, "Don't give me anything. Just do this one thing, and I'll continue to tend and watch over your flocks. Let me inspect your flocks today and remove all the sheep and goats that are speckled and spotted, along with all the black sheep. Give these to me as my wages. In the future, when you check on the animals you have given me as your wages, you'll see that I have been honest. If you find in my flock any goats without speckles or spots, or any sheep that are not black, you will know that I have stolen from you." "All right," Laban replied, it will be as you say." But that very day Laban went out and removed the male goats that were streaked and spotted. All female goats were speckled and spotted or had white patches, and all the black sheep. He placed them in care of his sons, who took them a 3 days' journey from where Jacob was. Meanwhile, Jacob stayed and cared for the rest of Laban's flock. Then Jacob took some fresh branches from a poplar, almond, and plane trees, and peeled off the strips of bark, making white streaks on them. Then he placed these peeled branches in the watering troughs where the flocks came to drink, for that was where they mated. When they mated in front of the white streaked branches, they gave birth to young that were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Jacob separated those lambs from Laban's flock, and the mating time he turned the flock to face Laban's animals, and they were streaked or black. This is how he built his own flock instead of increasing Laban's. Whenever the stronger females were ready to mate, Jacob would place the peeled branches in the fine watering troughs in front of them. Then they would mate in front of the branches. But he didn't do this with the weaker ones, so that the weaker lambs belonged to Laban and stronger ones belonged to Jacob. As a result, Jacob became very wealthy with large flocks of sheep and goats, female and male servants, and male camels and donkeys. But Jacob soon learned that Laban's sons were grumbling about him. "Jacob has robbed our father of everything," they said. "He has gained all the wealth at our father's expense." And Jacob began to notice a change in Laban's attitude towards him. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your father and grandfather and your relatives there, and I will be with you." So Jacob called Rachel and Leah out of the field where he was watching his flock. He said to them, "I have noticed that your father's attitude towards me has changed, but the God of my father has been with me. You know how hard I have worked for your father, but he has cheated me, changed my wages 10 times, but God has not allowed him to do me any harm. If he said, 'The speckled animal will be your wages,' the whole flock began to produce speckled young. And when he changed his mind and said, 'The striped animals will be your wages,' then the whole flock produced striped young. In this way, God has taken your father's animals and given them." One day during the mating season, I had a dream and saw that the male goats mating with the female goats were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Then in my dream, the angel of God said to me, "Jacob," and I replied, "Yes, here I am." The angel said, "Look up, and you will see that only the streaked, speckled, and spotted males are mating with the females on your flock. For I have seen how Laban has treated you. I am the God who appeared to you in Bethel, the place where you anointed the pillar of stone and made your vow to me. Now get ready to leave this country and return to the land of your birth." Rachel and Leah responded, "That's fine with us. We won't inherit any of our father's wealth anyway. He has reduced our rights to those of foreign women, and after he sold us, he wasted the money you paid for him for us. All the wealth God has given you from our father legally belongs to us and our children, so go ahead and do whatever God has told you to do." Oh, man. Yeah. Anyways, so that's it for the chapter in Genesis. We'll go ahead and move on to Matthew 10, 1 through 23. Jesus called his 12 disciples together and gave them authority to cast out evil spirits and heal every kind of disease and illness. Here are the names of the 12 apostles. First, Simon, also called Peter. Then Andrew, Peter's brother. James, son of Zebedee. John, James's brother. Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas. Matthew, the tax collector. James, son of Alphaeus. Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who later betrayed him. Jesus sent out the 12 apostles with these instructions. Don't go to the Gentiles or the Samaritans, but only to the people of Israel, God's lost sheep. Go and announce to them that the kingdom of heaven is near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cure those with leprosy, and cast out demons. Give as freely as you have received. Don't take any money in your money belt, no gold, silver, or even copper coins. Don't carry a traveler's bag with a change of clothes and sandals or even a walking stick. Don't hesitate to accept hospitality, because those who work deserve to be fed. Whenever you enter a city or village, search for a worthy person and stay in his home until you leave town. When you enter the home, give it your blessing. If it turns out to be a worthy home, let your blessing stand. If it is not, take back your blessing. If any household or town refuses to welcome you or listen to your message, shake its dust from your feet as you leave. I tell you the truth, the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah will be better off than such town on this judgment day. Look, I am sending you out as sheep among wolves, so be shrewd as snakes and harmless as doves. But beware, for you will be handed over to the courts, and you will be flogged with whips in the synagogues. You will stand trial before governors and kings, because you are my followers. But this will be your opportunity to tell these rulers and other unbelievers about me. When you are arrested, don't worry about how to respond or what to say. God will give you the right words at the right time. For it is not you who will be speaking. It will be the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. A brother will betray his brother to death. A father will betray his own child, and children will rebel against their parents and cause them to be killed. And all nations will hate you because you are my followers, but everyone who endures to the end will be saved. When you are prosecuted in one town, flee to the next. I tell you the truth, the Son of Man will return before you have reached all the towns of Israel. I love this little section of Matthew here. It's such a good reflection of what God expects us to expect, and also expects of his disciples, and his disciples we are. It says here that, like, specifically when he was talking with all of his apostles, his 12 apostles, he was telling them about what specifically they were going out to do, as the 12 of them were going out to make disciples. But beyond that, what it was also doing is it was giving us a look into what it looks like to go and preach the gospel. You know, back then, something it talked about yesterday is that the harvest is ready, but the workers are few, right? And so the workers that are there, they're going to go out and they're going to go to these dangerous places. And Jesus says, don't be afraid of being arrested. Don't be afraid of persecution, because in these ways, we are allowed to speak to people we normally would not have been able to speak to, like the governors and the kings and the rulers, right? When the apostles are taken into custody and put into prison, they're able to be around people they normally wouldn't have been able to be around, to be able to preach the gospel to people who need it, right? Something we were talking about again the other day was having an eternal mindset. You know, this may be the only opportunity these people have in their entire lives to hear about the gospel, right? Hear about Jesus. And so that's why it's even more important that no matter what life circumstances we're in, no matter where God may place us, that we need to be outspoken about our faith. We need to be good ambassadors of Jesus wherever we go, and we need to share the light of Christ in all that we do. Something, I don't remember who said this, but I think it might have been George Janko, actually. I'm pretty sure it was. But something that he talks about is how he preaches everywhere he goes and sometimes uses words. Or something like that. You know, I'm probably butchering the quote, but the point is that, you know, like I was saying the other day again, is like, we need to be good ambassadors and representatives of the kingdom of heaven. That means everything we do, we say, how we present ourselves, how we hold ourselves needs to be something that would represent Christ well, right? Because if we call ourselves Christians, we need to act in accordance to that as well. Are we actively leading people to Christ with how we hold ourselves, with how we speak to others, with how we act? Or are, like I said the other day, are people not able to tell that we're followers of Christ by looking at us? Just a thought. Psalms 12, 1-8. Help, O Lord, for the godly are fast disappearing. The faithful have vanished from the earth. Neighbors lie to each other, speaking with flattering lips and deceitful hearts. May the Lord cut off their flattering lips and silence their boastful tongues. They say, we will lie to our heart's contents. Our lips are our own. Who can stop us? The Lord replies, I have seen violence done to the helpless, and I have heard the groans of the poor. Now I will rise up and rescue them, as the Lord as they have longed for me to do. The Lord's promises are pure, like silver refined in a furnace, purified 7 times 7. Therefore, Lord, we know you will protect the oppressed, preserving them forever from this lying generation, even though the wicked strut about and evil praise throughout the land. Now I'm going to go to Proverbs 3:13 through 15. Joyful is the person who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. For wisdom is more profitable than silver, and her wages are better than gold. Wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. At the end of each chapter, there's a little blurb at the bottom, like a thing that just kind of gives a little recap review of everything that we read. And the title of it says, The World's Toughest Job Description. Imagine a disciple hearing Jesus give the job description and still going on. They would travel but pack nothing. They would work like sheep surrounded by wolves. They could count on being arrested, flogged, and whipped just because they followed Christ. And one final note, they would experience persecution at the highest level of law and government. Why would anyone sign up for that job? They weren't duped. They weren't ignorant. They just believed that Jesus was the one who he said he was, and the kingdom of God was worth every ounce of the pain. Dang, isn't that so true? I mean, if you ever have any doubt as to if Jesus was who he says he was, just look at the people that followed him, right? They went to horrible, horrible, horrible deaths for the things they believed in. Most people that would be believing a lie or making something up, they would admit it at some point. They wouldn't go to their grave for that kind of a thing, right? But these people, they went to the most brutal of deaths. They went to the most brutal of deaths. When you look at all the things that he said and did, and you look at the people that followed him, you have to wonder, right? He must be who he says he is. Let's say that I told everybody that I believe that cats are better than dogs. And I don't believe that, but I told everybody I believe that, right? And I said it, I shouted it from the rooftops, right? And people finally came up to me, and this is just a crazy example, but let's say, all the dog lovers out there, right? I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. They decided that they were going to persecute me and attack me, and they threatened me with death if I didn't say that dogs are better than cats, right? Me being a person who actually knows the truth, I know that dogs are better than cats, and in my opinion, okay, I would give in, right? I would not go to my death for a lie that I was trying to portray. That's not a great example, but it is an easy to digest kind of example, right? Each of his disciples went to terrible, terrible deaths for the truth, for the gospel, Oh! Interesting. I just figured out I can start and stop videos from a button on the side of this mic. That is really interesting. I'm gonna remember that. Okay, I completely lost my train of thought. The point that I'm trying to make is be steadfast in your faith. Be steadfast in knowing the truth of the gospel, of the truth of those that came before us. I think the verse that I'm going to pick today to be the verse today is Psalms 12, verse 6. The Lord's promises are pure, like silver refined in a furnace, purified 7 times over. The Lord's promises are pure. It is so, everything that he does is so selfless. It is so much for us. And again, it comes back to this point of his redemptive plan, where he's always wanted to bring us from the fall of man. He's wanted to bring us back into a place where we can walk with him again, to that Garden of Eden. And finally, with Jesus, he was able to do that. And now we get the promise of getting to be with him in paradise forever again. And it's so, so beautiful. So that's what I'll go ahead and leave us off with today. I'm going to go ahead and pray for you. And then, that'll be it. So, Father, I thank you again just so much for another beautiful day. Lord, I thank you that you are such a good God, Lord, and that your promises are so pure, Lord, and that you have always wanted to bring redemption between us and you. Father, I pray that if there are people out there watching this video that don't feel that connection and feel like they don't have that personal relationship with you, God, I pray that you would come close to them. Lord, that you would help them to experience you in a way that they've never been able to experience you before. Lord, I pray blessings over the person that may be listening to this. Lord, I pray that you would come into their lives and just, Lord, that their minds would just be renewed by a moving of your Spirit, God, that your Spirit would just wash over them. Father, again, I just pray blessings and joy over their days. God, I pray that you would just guide them all in all that they say and do. And Father, that you would just show them your love extra special today. Thank you so much just for another day to be able to do these things, to be able to read from your word. Lord, I pray that it would be blessing and edifying to each person listening to this. In your name I pray. Amen. Cool. Well, yeah, that's it. See you tomorrow.